Hello and welcome back everybody to I Know What You Did Last Summer. Pardon me, everlasting summer. So, Oljana isn't there anymore. Olga isn't there anymore. Slavia's dead. Yeah, well, that happened. So let's see if we get knifed in the forest now, or if all girls first have to die and then can go on. So, let's continue, shall we? Alisa stood beside me, wringing her hands with a pained look on her face as she watched the full moon rise. We have to call the police. We have already called them. But back then it was only Slavia. And now it's also Oljana. And Olga. Have you seen her? No. But what? Is she too? Alisa burst into tears. We still don't know anything, but nevertheless, it is clear that something is going on here. Even if they're not just pretending to be pioneers, and something really has happened to the world right now I could have quite a good chance of departing from it without getting any answers for my questions. So I have to focus on survival. Survival. The word hit like a sharp pain to the back of the head. Survival. Just yesterday I didn't need to give the slightest consideration to anything like that. The quiet summer night was raining over everything around us. Not a breath of wind, not a rustle of grass, or a whisper of moving leaves could be heard. Aha, so this is the lesson that he is learning in this time, and it actually seems to make sense. You remember that Miku, or Masha, said to him like, you have no job, you're still studying movies, usually people already have children now, blah blah. So, this is his lesson, like, he isn't used to real life anymore, to real life situations. That is why he is sent into the horror camp? To learn survival? Maybe. Maybe I'm always on the I make wrong assumptions because I think that something is going to be taught by the game. And actually that wasn't the intention of the game. Then maybe I'm wrong all the time. Yeah, I read that. Nothing. Just the reflection of the moonlight in the cabin's windows. Sparse clouds up in the sky. And yet impenetrable darkness all around. They say that when you gaze into the abyss also gazes into you. And the grasshoppers, these damned critters, are pulling a double shift of DJing. As if they're constantly on duty. As the day shift winds up, the night shift, who got enough sleep, begins. Then the night one knocks off and I have to find some insecticide after all. At least I can wipe out a couple of divisions. With any luck that would get me some quiet living space around this cabin. You have strange priorities. Sure, I can't destroy them all. What the heck, there are probably more than there are humans in the entire world. So, is this game, is this now The Grasshopper? Like an Alfred Hitchcock movie? Can you hear it? Alisa sat down and huddled up against me. Her entire body was trembling. What? I strained my ears. It seemed that somebody was slowly walking down the path up to our cabin. I couldn't make anything out in the dark, but the steps grew more and more audible with every second. I don't hear him. Okay, and don't sweat it. He won't dare to attack the two of us. Although I wasn't really sure about that. My hands instinctively started to search for something I could use to defend myself. Hey! Sorry. Soon enough, I found a piece. Oh, did she grab her? Ha! Soon enough, I found a piece of water pipe underneath the bench. It's not much of help, of course. It's way too thick and uncomfortable to wield properly, but it's still better than going out empty-handed. The mere sight of this monstrosity would make anyone pee themselves. Hopefully. Most likely from laughter. There's nothing I can do. We're as good as sitting ducks here, so I'd rather move out towards the enemy. I couldn't say that I was bursting with courage and valor. In fact, I was quite the opposite. I was really freaking out. It just seemed that I had no other choice. I took a deep breath and slowly headed into the darkness. Soon enough, I could make out more features of the stranger's silhouette. Not very tall, weird hairstyle, a skirt. That ought to be Lena. I have seen weirder hair, to be honest. I lowered my guard. This is the point where you have to raise your guard. Smack her with a pipe. She not normal. We learned. She not normal. What are you doing here this late at night? I... Lena's face was stained with tears. Come on. I led her to Elisa. As Lena was coming back to her senses, she tried to explain what happened. I was just sitting alone and it's already quite late but Miko is still missing, yet and what happened to Slavia, and I don't believe you. I still just couldn't reconcile the image of Lena, the sobbing girl sitting in front of me, with the one that I saw at the square a few hours ago, with a grin of the devil and hellish flames in her eyes. Are there two Lenas? Are there more versions of all of the participants in this? No, I still don't believe you. Don't try to fool me, lady. I don't believe you. Maybe it was just my imagination. Or maybe not. By any chance, do you know where Uljana and Olga are? She raised her surprised eyes to me. No, why? Are they also missing? That would explain the dream. No, but that still wouldn't... I mean, Lena was not only strange in the dream version of her good ending. She was strange all the time. I don't know, man. I don't know. I only know that I don't trust her. Huh? Oh, wrong button once more. Hey. There we go. Well, so far we can't be sure. Simeon. At first I didn't realize that she was addressing me. Huh? Don't you think that it's way too quiet in the camp? It is night. Everyone is sleeping, aren't they? I strained my ears. Indeed, there were no sounds beside these damned grasshoppers. I mean, no sounds whatsoever. What is this place usually like? Quiet, whispered Lena. Quiet, but not this quiet. I couldn't let girls fall into panic, although I was starting to freak out myself. Yet there were a lot of reasons to. Human disappearing into thin air, horrible murders, friends that pretend to be pioneers until the very end. I was ready to lose it. Okay, let's think rationally. The girls gave me a few questioning looks. People can't just disappear without a trace. That means... Nope, it doesn't mean anything. Suddenly we heard a rustle in the bushes behind the cabin. Ah, so Shurik is gone as well, huh? Before I could even grab my pipe, Rauta emerged from the darkness. Ah, here you are. He didn't seem to be all that concerned by all the stuff happening around. Oh lord, stop jumping out at people like that. The girls are gonna have a heart attack at this rate. Although I wasn't sure who was more frightened, them or me. Yeah, I apologize. Why have you come, and why do you come through bushes? Have you seen Shurik? We haven't. It looks like half of the camp just disappeared in the last few hours. Plus, it's too quiet around here. We noticed that already. There's no light anywhere. That silence. Oh, don't you start whipping up the tension here. I feel sick already. What am I doing? I'm not doing anything. He flashed a mysterious smile that gave me the creeps. Okay, you stay here, and I'm gonna scout around the camp. Alone? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. All possible murderers. Simeon is probably the most stupid sambo master in the world. Alone? Yeah, that probably wasn't exactly the brightest idea. I have to think first, then speak. I'll go with you. Okay, then you just stay here. And don't forget that Miku is still sleeping in the cabin. Sir, yes, sir. So, Simeon decided to leave the devilish girl with the creepy smiling man alone. And he takes the only person with him who's normal. Okay, I mean, at least he's then sure to not be stabbed in the back. But he leaves these people alone with Masha. Jesus! How many brain cells does he possess? Like 2? What a dork. If he gave me that dopey smile in any other situation. About half an hour later, our search brought us to the square. All the cabins were empty. It looks like there are only the 5 of us left in the camp. I limped along with a pipe of mine. It appeared to be so lightweight at first, but after carrying it for some time, I've learned that one can get worn out even carrying a bag of feathers. Lay it over your shoulder, you idiot. Where on earth is everyone? Elisa appeared to be more or less calm. The horror of the first minutes, when we were going from one empty cabin to another, had already passed. Well, at least we can be sure that it's not the same case as whatever happened to Slavia. Why is that? Just think, where are the bodies? I said in a whisper, fearful of scaring her. But where is everyone then? Disappeared? Hardly a credible explanation. But if you think about it, nothing whatsoever that is happened during the last 24 hours has been credible. They couldn't just go and... just like that. It's not like anything is up to us now. And in any case, tomorrow is still another day. I tried to put on a smile. Let's rejoin the others. They are gone. I bet with you. Yeah, agreed Elisa with a hint of indecisiveness. With Masha, of course, by the way. Another rustle in the bushes. We'd only taken a few steps when a rustle in the bushes came from behind. Who was popping out? I instantly turned around and peeped towards the source of sound. Elisa clung to my hand so hard it hurt, and I tightened my grip on the pipe. Who's there? No idea. I strained my eyes, but still couldn't make out anything in the darkness. Hey! I had no idea what to do next. The rustling suddenly cut off, and the night returned to just the usual cricket fiddling. Could it be some wild animal? I wondered with a feeling of insecurity. A wild animal? She gripped my hand even tighter. But there are no wild animals around here. A squirrel, for example. I don't know. A squirrel? Yeah, a squirrel. Well, maybe... Shall we go? Yeah. Oh, I totally forgot to consider, of course, there's also the possibilities that everyone is taken away by the cat girl. Totally forgot about that. You know, the lady that she sees in his dreams with the cat ears? Maybe the robot that Shurik and Electronic built became self-conscious. Who knows? A minute later, we were approaching Olga's cabin. Rauta and Lena remained silent and just shrugged slightly when they saw us. So, how is it? No one out there. What do you mean, no one? Oh, the crazy people did not do anything crazy, okay. You are a lucky son of a bitch, Semyon. Everyone is gone, said Elisa through her tears. The girls rushed into each other's arms, and I sat down next to Rauta, finally dropping that abhorrent pipe of mine to the ground. I wouldn't do so. It's just that simple? Just that simple. But how? I really don't know. Maybe it's an alien abduction. What nonsense. Wanna play detective, Sherlock? Well, it could be the same maniac. It's kind of way too much for just one man, don't you think so? I guess you're right, but who was it then? It still could turn out to be just a stupid prank. And Slavia too? That is all just a stupid prank? No, she was definitely murdered by someone. But who? He gave me a narrow gaze. I have no idea, maybe it was you. I was starting to get wound up. Are you? Not me for sure. How can you prove it? Why on earth should I have to explain myself to you? You're the only one without an alibi. Alibi, however. Ah, so you do have an alibi, eh? I was in my cabin at night. Shurik can prove it. Sure, but Shurik is temporarily unavailable. Rauta gritted his teeth and turned away. Anyway, I'm the one with an alibi here. I'm not going to justify myself here. I'm sure about myself. It is great to believe in yourself. I'm also sure about myself. And Miku can prove me right. I was with her all the time. Not exactly the best witness. Just as good as yours. I have no idea how long we could have argued like that if Lena hadn't intervened in the conversation. Boys, come on. That's enough. You're right. Sorry. Yeah. Indeed, now is not the best time for something like this. Anyway, we should stick together. Would it help keep us from disappearing? I asked Elisa timidly. I'm not sure about all that disappearance stuff, but at least it should help us to stay alive. I glanced at my watch. It's almost 4 o'clock. The sun will be rising soon. Okay, squad, time to hit the hay. We're gonna end up totally wiped out. But... No buts. Nobody else tried to object, and we entered the cabin quietly. And Masha's gone. Ah, too bad. What's happening? Seems like we woke up Masha. It's okay, keep sleeping. But she was already sitting up on the bed and staring blankly at our little party. Well, you see, they're all gone. Disappeared. Everyone is gone. Lena burst into tears and flung her arms around Masha's neck. What? What's going on? Can you speak clearly? Well, long story short, I cracked my neck and compulsively reached for the cigarettes in my pocket. Finding none, I have a sigh of frustration and said, "It looks like there's just 5 of us left in this camp." Meaning everyone in this room? Rejoice! Captain Obvious has returned. You're gonna keep watch first. Oh, nothing. Do you really think that it's safe for everyone to sleep at the same time? Well, it isn't, but, exactly. I handed him the pipe and slowly approached the bed, where Lena was still sobbing in Masha's arms. Well, if you don't mind. I slipped my boots off, climbed over the girls, and turned towards the wall. But how? Anyhow, sleep. I was so exhausted, both physically and, more important, emotionally, that I was unable to do anything, think anything, communicate with anybody. If I was you, I wouldn't... if I was with other people, and I'm not 100% sure that I can trust them, I would always do the first shift. I would always be the first one to stay guard. Just because who knows if Electronic has slept enough to just stay awake. You can trust yourself. Or maybe Simeon can't, I don't know, but I can. You can trust yourself, but who knows if Electronic is reasonable enough for that. You know what I mean? Maybe just starts to sleep or something. Oh well, that's just me. I was desperate to get some sleep. Way too desperate. Masha's whispers, Lena's sobs, Elisa's voice, all that has somehow melted in one quiet lullaby, and so I fell asleep. Maybe when he wakes up now he's back into normal. How funny would that be? Or maybe nobody's there? No, there's someone shaking him, so there is probably someone still there. I was forcibly be awakened by someone doing their best to shake me. Physically shake me, that is. Router was leaning over me and nudging my shoulder. It's your turn now. How long have I slept? About an hour. Only an hour? Stay on your watch. I'm already dozing off. Yeah, an infinite power source wouldn't hurt for our router. Although it wouldn't hurt for me too. I guess that was a wordplay. Was that a wordplay? Like a router for, the electronic thing and infinite electronic source. Yeah, you know what I mean. Oh, fine. I rose with considerable effort, climbed over Lena and Masha, who slept with their arms around each other, and jumped down to the floor. The room seemed slightly brighter. The morning is coming. Yeah. Router tried to get to my place, but I grabbed him by the collar, threw him down on the floor, and gave him a blanket and a pillow. So you can... and you cannot. You are a fucking asshole. That makes no sense at all. Jesus, I hope you be the next one who's killed. Let the man sleep on the bed. If you can sleep next to the girls, he can too. Come to think about it, why can't he? Anyway, it's not that important now. I took the chair, dragged it to the door, sat down, and started to wait. Anticipation seemed to be the best word to describe what I was feeling. Any moment now the door will burst open, and a maniac will break into the room. Or the last residents of this camp will disappear. You have also a window there. It is not intelligent to sit yourself just in front of the door. Or I will disappear. In any case, something will happen. I deeply felt that. Router was snoring his head off, the girls were sleeping securely, and I was starting to doze off too. I clenched the pipe harder. The feeling of cold metal against my bare skin somehow brought me back to my senses. I must not sleep. I am their only hope now. And my own too. But it's so hard to resist. Just a couple of minutes. You are the worst. I hate you. My eyes seem to have a life of their own, opening and closing spontaneously as my mind wandered. A rustling came from behind the door. No, I must have imagined that. It's just those damned grasshoppers. No! What are they still up to? Maybe it's the grasshoppers to blame. They fell upon the camp like a swarm of locusts and devoured everybody. A vision of me being devoured by grasshoppers unfolded in my mind. A disgusting storm was brewing in my head. The long legs, the wings, a huge head, and the eyes filled with darkness. Eyes reflecting the abyss. Just look a grasshopper in the eye, and you'll never be the same again. Keep your eyes open. And of course he sleeps. Idiot. That's how it happens. I'm running away, and they after me. There are thousands of them, millions. I'm desperately jumping over the pits and gullies, climbing hills and rocks. They don't care. They've got wings. Yeah, these filthy wings that make things... that make that nasty rattle. This is really... Wait a minute. That make that nasty rattle. Yeah, okay. My bad. I read that wrong. Probably they wouldn't need their teeth anyway. They just have to flap these horrible wings faster and faster, summoning the sonic wave of the apocalypse. No. I just can't block out the hellish noise anymore. I'm falling, desperately trying to cover my ears with my hands. Please stop it, somebody. I was woken by a sharp pain in the back of my head. Opening my eyes, I realized that I was lying sprawled on the floor. It looks that I fell asleep and slipped off my chair. It was 9 o'clock. God damn it, it looks like I was sleeping for 5 hours straight. Anything could have happened. Probably anything did happen. Horrified, I patted myself down, and everything seemed to be in its place. Ah, that was close. I shook our squat awake. My turn already? You sleep too much. While I've been sitting here, all night long. Sure, that was a lie, but telling them that I spent the night running from my life from the grasshoppers definitely wasn't an option. But this has to be important. Why this whole long part about him sleeping and, you know, getting to sleep and all that stuff, if it wasn't important that he slept? There must have been something happen. There must be something happening. I'm sorry. Router hung his head. Don't worry about it. Ah, I'm hungry as hell. Masha stretched out and gave me a cute smile. And why are you all here? Don't you remember anything? No, but what's the matter? Everyone is gone, said Elisa gloomily. Say what? Everyone is gone, vanished into thin air. Masha glanced out of the window and said nothing. Seems like she remembered now. Well, getting something to eat is indeed a fine idea. Nobody was going to object. It's not like I was in the mood to eat, same as everyone else, but ultimately everyone knew that we had to keep ourselves running. Soon enough we were sitting in the canteen, quietly digging into whatever we could find. Want me to cook something? Inquired Masha quietly. Let's wait for lunch, for now it's fine. She gave me a disappointed look. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We have to get out of here. But the police... We have to get out of here, I repeated stubbornly. But how? Bus. It's highly unlikely that one will come. It doesn't run too often. At least there should be a timeable somewhere around here. I try to remember if I've ever seen the bus map or its timetable somewhere. Probably not. And we'll go on foot. Anything is better than staying here. But it's a long way to... Well, we might hitch a lift. Here in the middle of nowhere? I doubt that. Oh, stop with the drama. Although, thinking about it, it's exactly the right time for drama. I'm not being dramatic, but... That's it. End of story. What are we gonna say when we reach the city? We'll tell them the truth. We came to shoot a movie and then... What movie? Okay, stop fooling around. Fucker! Didn't you realize it yet? I buried my face in my hands, feeling run down. Even if it was kind of funny yesterday, although it really wasn't, you can't stop it now. I don't get you. Oh, you're still going to keep on pretending that you came here not to shoot a movie, but to roleplay as pioneer. I don't understand a thing. Elisa swept her surprised gaze across everyone. But we are pioneers. What pioneers, for God's sake? Masha, who had kept silent so far, butted in. It's the 21st century out there. Yeah, right, pioneers. You people are stupid. Now this will start. This will. If I were those three now, depending if those three are normal, I would now make exclude these two maniacs from our camp. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have to do with them shit. They are crazy. 21st? Looks like we're indeed in a deep mess. So you're all gonna say that we are normal pioneers who just came here on vacation for a week or so? A heavy silence followed. Well, yes. I cast a look at Masha. It looks like she doesn't know how to react either. I signaled to her, pointing at the door. Excuse us for a second. Having gone outside, I asked, what do you think? Well, she adopted the pose of the ancient Greek thinker. It looks like they genuinely believe that. And some folks, named Semyon and Miku, were in our shoes until yesterday. Some. Well, I guess you're more familiar with them than I am. Oh, come on, I interrupted her. Could you come up with a more feasible theory? I still have absolutely no theories at all. I no longer know what to think. Me neither. But anyway, all hell is breaking loose here, even without taking peonies into account. Murders. Dozens of people disappearing without a trace. That ought to be our top priority here. I look closely at Masha. I wonder how she can keep such a cool head under these circumstances. Sure, I'm also trying to keep calm, but that means what? Let's leave this issue for later. But at least a wild guess. Who helped? Well. Why am I even angry anymore about him? Why am I even angry anymore about him? I guess it's somehow connected to the disappearances. It's safe to assume that one, or even two or three, humans couldn't deal with so many people at once. Agreed. It might be that this phenomenon somehow affected them. Might be. Anyway, it's easier to believe in that then, for example, that we're in a parallel reality or something. You know, by now I'm willing to believe anything. Then let's stick to this theory for now. Okay. Let's go? You go ahead. I'll be back in a minute. It's dangerous to be all alone. Seriously, what is so dangerous? Broad daylight and everyone is around here? Okay. Are you stupid? Or is this some shit like in reality Semyon was the murderer from the beginning? She gave me a faint smile and headed back to the canteen. But still, her behavior is also quite odd. It looks like the last few days changed everything and everyone. Including Masha. Yesterday, shock, fear and trembling. Today, cold and sensible reasoning. Damn, she's even more self-assured than me. Could it just be a good sleep? No. There is something wrong with her too. Sure, she doesn't think that she's a pioneer like everyone else does, but still. If something has happened to them, then maybe it also happened to me. No, it can't be. Everything seems to be fine. Maybe he, or we, the player, is, this is the backstory maybe of the crazy pioneer. Maybe. Remember the doppelganger Semyon? Maybe. I've double-checked my body and found no abnormalities. Okay, I have to keep calm and control myself. I got up and was about to return to the canteen, when suddenly I heard a tiny voice from behind my back. No tiny voices anymore, I'm sick of this shit. As if somebody was calling for me. I got down from the porch and took a few steps towards the voice. Always intelligent when you're alone. Somebody was peering at me from behind a tree. Oh, zombie Uljana. Ah, was wondering when the zombie apocalypse finally would happen. It was Uljana. No, not Uljana, but something that looked like her. I froze in my tracks. Half of her face was torn and hanging down in shreds. No, that is untrue. You are lying, at least according to the picture. Her grinning jaw trembled nervously as if in laughter. A bloodshot eye, hanging half out of its socket, suddenly swiveled its pupil to look at me. I stopped breathing. It felt like I was gonna die right now due to the shock. Simeon! The thing that seemed to be Uljana was calling for me. My legs began to give out. I tried hard not to collapse, tried to scream, tried to run away. But my consciousness had already left a body that now was just a ragdoll, moving by the will of an invisible puppet master. One more second and... Hey! I instinctively turned towards the word, caught sight of Masha standing on the porch, and then instantly looked back to Uljana. But she was gone. Masha seemed to notice the deathly pallor upon my face and jumped over to me in the blink of an eye. What? What happened? I just saw Uljana there. I pointed my finger towards the tree. Sure, the sight of the butchered Slavia was indeed gruesome. But at least she was dead and not walking around in broad daylight, with her face torn apart, and she wasn't calling me by my name, even if the name wasn't my own. The last ounces of my strength deserted me, and I collapsed to my knees. What? Where? Masha was shaking me by the shoulders. It wasn't her. That was... Ah, no. Get a hold of yourself. I felt a round arm slap hit me in the face and gave Masha a questioning look. My cheek burned, but I slowly started to regain my composure. Uljana was there, with a face. Basically, it was a zombie. Yeah, zombie Uljana. That is the most rational explanation I can give. Masha looked at me dumbfounded. Anything can happen here. If you'd seen her yourself. Thank God I didn't. Come on, I'll get you some water. I described my encounter with that creature in detail to everyone. So we're on some Walking Dead stuff here, I guess. I can tell you one thing. Science can't explain whatever's going on here at the moment. Science? It's outrageous devilry happening here. The hand of Satan. I wish we had a church nearby to light a candle. Lena said nothing, resorting to quiet sobbing. I'd almost completely recovered, and now I was able to think straight. Now it is perfectly clear that we have to get out of here. Well, I'm not a real scientist, let alone a paranormalist, but if I recall it correctly, all these demons and spirits are bound to a certain place. Therefore, if we get away from this place... Now that is an excellent solution. Masha grinned skeptically. I agree, I exclaimed, ignoring her. Yeah! Lena just gave a barely noticeable nod. So it's all settled. I slammed my fist on the table and surged to my feet. Hold on, it's not like we all agreed on that. Why would we hesitate? I seriously wouldn't want a second encounter with this thing like that. Where will we go? Do you even realize how long it will take to reach the city on foot? Damn it, do you really think that nobody ever rides the road? A car? A bus? Whatever. We'll get something eventually. I wouldn't be so sure. So you think that it is better to stay here? Well, I didn't say that. It's scary here, especially at night, Lena whispered quietly. It still doesn't mean that we have to go anywhere. What? Now you are talking crazy talk, lady, said Masha out loud. I gave her a narrow look. No, something has surely changed in her. Perhaps I should have a gentle talk with her about it. Or perhaps I shouldn't. Maybe she's also. Okay, let's take a vote. I said that in quite a confident tone, yet I still had my doubts. What if Masha's right? Perhaps we shouldn't be running around aimlessly. On the one hand, I have no idea what awaits us beyond the gates of this camp. On the other hand, it's really all hell breaking loose here. Okay, she shrugged. And still, I won't stand for another minute here. Leaving. Staying. Let's try it. Maybe we'll indeed get lucky and catch a ride. Leaving. Everyone turned their eyes towards Lena. I don't want to stay here. It seems like my decision wasn't going to affect the outcome anyway. So, let's get going. Well, I sprang to my feet. Everyone else remained seated with their heads down. Since we decided... Masha got up slowly and looked at me. What about our stuff? Asked Elisa awkwardly. Who cares? Do you really think that we should care now? Thank you, electronic router man, mumbled Router gloomily. Well, you're probably right. Well, in my case, my stuff has already vanished somewhere. Jesus, this is taking longer than I thought. And I start losing my voice. But this is so interesting, I actually don't want to stop right now. I want to see how this turns out. This is quite interesting. Well, but we'll have to make a cut here, otherwise I'll be sitting here in another hour, still playing this route in one part. So, thank you everybody for watching. Come back for the next part, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.